June the 28th, 2021. As you're looking at the same webcam that was in the earlier video today, and it's Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, along the boardwalk. Now the waves have picked up, and notice the flags. You're getting a very brisk wind out of the northeast right now because the way the hurricane is rotating counterclockwise, or the storm, is rotating counterclockwise. So as it approaches, that's what you get. You get this wind out of the northeast. Now again, it's picking up, and you can see the wind gusts are picking up if you look at that. Still a few folks out there, it looks like they may have had a couple of sprinkles looking at the concrete, but you now have tropical storm warnings up. And that's the main reason I came up with this video. They've changed this from a possibility of development. Now it's a tropical depression, and they're expected to become a tropical storm before it comes ashore. It has not rewrapped completely in clouds and storms yet. It's still more or less a dry system. We'll see how that pans out as it prepares to come ashore today and into tonight. So the radars will be critical if you're watching, or the satellites of the east coast of the U.S. By the way, all of this is available on our website. You can go to the Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, either one, and go into the satellite data information, and you can get a very clear look for yourself. But again, notice the waves coming off from the storm, and then the flags. And you can tell in the trees that it's definitely changed again all along this coast. Now there's tropical storm warnings. And I'm in central Mississippi, guys. I was outside a few minutes ago, and I noticed in the shade how cool it was. It's 81 degrees, 88 degrees for a real feel. But in this breeze has already came across South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and now maybe even feeling it in parts of Louisiana. But central Mississippi now definitely has this breeze out in front of the storm. What does that tell you? It tells you how strong that it is at its core. So you got to pay attention tonight and this evening, because one thing in this area, water spouts. Okay, that will cause a lot of problems. It can knock out power, as well as these high wind gusts can knock out power. So just be prepared for that. Guys, it's been a very small storm. It hadn't been like a major Atlantic hurricane where people were getting prepared days ahead of time. So it's not that much time, but be prepared, because the tropical storm is nothing to play with. Now, as I was saying, the links that you're seeing on this video, and quite a few of my other videos, almost 99% of them, the links are here, and they're there for a reason, so you can go and look for yourself. The site's been up for a long time, and we continue to try to improve it. My wife Tina does the work, and there's always a lot of new articles up on the right over here. One thing I want to point out while I'm here, the Alexa Pure water filter, guys, this is really the time of the year to think about it and be prepared, because we have it on sale for about $35 or $40 less than the manufacturer. Now if you click here, it'll be around $219 instead of $269, and it comes with one filter as you see it. And that filter will filter out 5,000 gallons of water. It's the #1 water filter on the world. Some people talk about other ones. None of it it doesn't even compete when it comes to the 99.999% of 206 contaminants that it reduces. Okay, so and I've had one, and I have two now for 4 years maybe. That's all I use. Ice, tea, coffee, drinking water, whatever it is, cooking water, comes from here. Now, and if you think about that price, you're about 2.5 cents a gallon. And if you've priced bottled water in the store, especially spring water, they're all about the same. You're lucky to get it under $1 a gallon. So when you're talking about 3 to 3.5 cents a gallon, that is incredible. And so after 5,000 gallons, you replace just the filter for about $85. Then your price goes way down per gallon, because you've already purchased the tank itself in the entire system. But if you want to check it out, I unboxed one of mine, put it all together, and here's the video right there. Check it out. We also talk about the Aquaflomax, which is something that we invented and patented, and we build here and ship all over the nation, thousands of them. What it does, it's an air intake system for the Alexa Pure Water system, and it increases the outflow by about 10 times, simply because we're allowing air back into the top tank. No modifications, no warranty problems at all. Everything that we've done with the Aquaflomax, guys, is to fit exactly in the openings provided already in the Alexa Pure water filter, because there's 4 openings in that top tank where you put your filter, and you can put up to 4 filters, and you've got rubber stoppers that go in there, and I go into that in the video below this. But you can add 3 filters and an Aquaflomax, and that's just more filtration capability. You put 2 or 3 filters in there, say 2 filters, you went to 10,000 gallons of water that these filters can handle. Put 3 in, you're 15,000 gallons. But check out the video below here, and I go into detail. We put one together, show you how it works, and we show you the difference in the outflow. Again, very good video I think we did on that one. But guys, over here, let's go to hurricanes. Start watching this, East Coast. Come here and you can get your last minute updates. And this is what we're seeing. The 5-day forecast, it's the same as a 2-day forecast if you have something close to shore like this. The 5-day forecast is showing we have 40% chance still of formation from this Atlantic storm. Here, tropical depression number 4. As of 11 a.m. Eastern, that was 37 minutes ago, maximum sustained winds 30 knots, 35 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure is 1,013 millibars. It's moving west-northwest at 14 knots or 16 miles an hour, so it's moving pretty good there, guys. That's telling you that the time you have, it's shortening quickly to prepare for anything, stuff in your lawn that could fly through your windows, okay? Just anything like that. Trash cans, make sure your pets are okay, because things could get rough. You could have tornadoes from this thing, and you'll watch it. And all of you guys I know that live along this coast, you're going to be keeping an eye on this thing because of nothing else, or for no other reason than pop-up tornadoes, which can be more deadly than a hurricane because all that energy's concentrated in a small package. Very deadly. So you've got to pay attention to this. But if we look at the information on it, here it is 11 a.m. today, Tropical Depression 4. But it's showing in the black circle here a tropical storm, and that will happen before it comes ashore. And you're seeing tropical storm warnings up from a good bit of the central South Carolina coastal area. Now, this is the center cone. In other words, they're saying somewhere in this white cone, I talk about it all the time, will be where the center of the storm comes, not the size of it. And you notice that because the tropical storm warnings go a little further north than that cone. And that's because that northeast quadrant, coming in on anything from a tropical depression to a major hurricane, has the most power. It's just the way it's set up. It's coming ashore at that point. But right now, at Myrtle Beach, you're seeing the winds come from the northeast because of the rotation. 8 a.m. in the morning, the depression has moved into northeast Georgia. And by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, it's setting at the Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia line right there. See that? So it's moving fast. But again, by 8 a.m. in the morning, it's come ashore. All of that's passed except possibly some moisture that's still being pulled in. We'll just have to see. And the depression is setting over all my friends right here and going to move through Tennessee. Now, the front may start turning the remnants of this system back to the northeast, which could be a blessing because you're already in heat watches and warnings. I said this earlier that that heat is still lingering in the northwest, but it's moving to the northeast, and so you're seeing heat warnings still coming there. So this may bring a little moisture to that area. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's take a look at the current satellite information. We're going to move here from the Gulf satellite itself over to the East Coast satellite, but you can see a good bit of both here. And I just wanted to point out a couple things. One, there's a lot of activity in the Gulf itself, off Texas, down along the Bay of Campeche, out in the Central Gulf, down into the Caribbean. It's a very active season, it appears, even though the major storms have held back, that may not continue. But what I was saying, and I want to zoom in on this. When I was outside again, just a few minutes before I came in to do the video, we're here in central Mississippi, but what you're seeing coming out of the right corner, top right here, is the storm that's in front of and was created by Tropical Depression number 4. And you can see how it's cleared out the air compared to the rest of the nation. You can see that front right here. You guys in Georgia, South Carolina, northern Florida, even to the Panhandle, and now see how it's clearing out this eastern half of Mississippi. We're feeling it here, and it's very pleasant. But if you walk outside and you say, man, and you're in the shade, and you say, this is really nice, it's because of the power of this storm that's setting off the coast of the Carolinas right now. So you guys, if this thing wraps back up, you could have a very strong tropical storm on your hand, but at least one that's producing a lot of storms, and that would increase your chance of tornadoes. What I would watch throughout the day, and as I can come in and out, I will, and I suggest you guys do it too, is watch your weather satellites and weather radar to see if the bands around the storm that we're about to look at is if they are starting to reform into storms. Just go and move to that satellite. Now, you can see quite a bit in this particular image. Here is Tropical Depression number 4 right there. It will become the next name, Tropical Storm, possibly before nightfall. Again, the thing to watch would be if it rewraps itself in some of these storms. Now, it will be pulling them into it and forming around the edges, and so this area right here is some of the strongest storms involved. Now, the highest clouds, you can see that boiling. If it pulls some of that moisture back off into the center of circulation, it's going to throw it up into this, what I call the northeast quadrant, top right section of the storm. So that would bring it into very close to the Carolina borders between North and South Carolina. Again, it's going to be moving quickly inland. That will help. That will limit the amount of flooding rain that could be possible, again, if it wraps itself, again, with some of these storms. Now, notice up top in the northeast of this map, guys, that front you see coming in has a lot of warm air in it. You're already under heat warnings and watches, and so pay attention to that. It's caught people off guard. Yesterday they were having some, I think, Olympic trials maybe over in Utah. And I think it was Utah, but they ended up canceling them because they were people getting sick. I saw one girl being carried off in a wheelchair, looked like she was a runner or something, and it was just the segment that was showed on the news. But it makes you wonder, the people that are putting this on, didn't they know they were in record heat? Heat records being broken left and right, and you want athletes with no shade in these open stadiums. You want them to run and compete in that? It makes you wonder who's in charge of these universities. We really know, don't we? But you can't help stupid sometimes. So parents, you really got to, you're the ones that have to make sure your kids are okay, because obviously no one else is doing it. But that's that front moving up again in the northeast is going to bring you some problems. On the update tonight, we'll look at the heat that's building, some of the temperatures that are building, and it's going to go on for the next few days. But we're watching this, guys. You folks in Carolina, pay attention to this storm. Be safe.